folks, Kel Kellogg here. It's August 28th. We're out at Folsom Lake. We've been fast trolling speedy shiners and humdingers this morning. We haven't had any results. We're really out here shaking down the boat. We've got a pretty exciting trip planned up to Shasta and Whiskey Town next week. So we're hoping to catch a fish, but our expectations aren't real high. You know, this is Folsom Lake, so prepare yourself for disappointment a lot of times. But when we get up here, we're going to flip the boat around, we're going to slow down, and going back to the ramp, I'm going to try trolling threaded night crawlers and a rigged anchovy. A lot of times, a big tray bait anchovy will produce nice kings out here at Folsom, and some trout too. So I wanted to share with you today how I roll bait. Doesn't matter if it's shad, herring, anchovies, whatever. Now you can buy those bait heads, and they're fine, they work, they're little plastic bait heads, but when I'm rolling bait, I'm going for stealth, and I don't want a big plastic head on my bait. I want my bait looking like minnow in distress, and I've never seen a minnow in distress with a big plastic helmet on. So here's how I tie these, but I'm going to warn you, if you're going to tie these for real, you want to do it at home, because they are hard to tie, and it takes some practice. But that's what we're using. We're using 10-pound Vantage fluorocarbon. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of line. First piece of line, I'm gonna, I don't know, 40 inches or so, something like that. Cut that off here with the little line cutter. And then, I'm gonna cut a second piece, 16 inches long or so. I put that second piece aside. Here's what we're going to actually rig the anchovy on. I have a number 4 red treble hook. Match the size of your hooks to the size of your bait. If I was rolling 2-inch long shad, I wouldn't be using a number 4, probably be using a number 8. Match the hook to the size of your bait. This is going in the anchovy's tail. And then I've got about a number 6 octopus hook. That's going in the anchovy's head. And I need to tie this on a sliding snell that can move the hook up and down the leader. That's how I achieve the bend in the bait that makes it roll through the water properly. So let's get started. First knot, super simple stuff. Take your treble hook, just going to use a standard Palomar knot, put that through there, going to double it through. I just did a video on how to tie 3 different knots, and I'm going to use 2 of them in this leader. The Palomar is the first one, and I'm going to use my egg loop snell knot, which is my standard snell knot. So there we go, I've doubled the line. Oh, we got a release here. Fish?
I don't think so, but we just got into them.
Oh, we just got into some fish. That was just a random release. So anyway, I've got that through there. I'm going to tie a Palomar knot. I'm sure you all know how to tie this already. I've doubled the line. I've done the granny. I'm going to drop the hook through the loop. Draw everything down tight. Of course, when I get down to the nitty gritty here, I'm going to wet it. Pull that down. That is one sharp hook. That's an Eagle Claw laser sharp. That is sharp. Some pretty good marks on the screen here. Wes is all excited. Wes is running around the camera, and he's going to drop that back down. We don't know if it got hit or it popped off. Probably just popped off, but we'll see. So there we go. We've got the treble hook hooked on the leader with a Palomar knot. Now, first thing we need to do to get this octopus on the line, we're going to slip the leader through it, and we're going to go from the bend of the hook out through the eye, okay? Like that. So, let me show you here. I'm going to put that right through there. Oh, hey, I got it. Got it the first time. That's pretty good for an old blind guy. So I'm going to slide this down. So let me just show you how the configuration here. The hook points are facing the same way. Here's the treble, here's the octopus hook, and it's just threaded through the leader at this point. Now here's the hard part, and this is, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. This is a pain in the butt. We're going to snell that short piece of line right over the leader, right over the hook, and that's going to allow this hook to slide up and down the line. So here's our short section of leader material. You always want to use the same pound test as the main leader to do this knot. If you use a lighter section, which is tempting sometimes, it will cut the main leader, and that's no fun, because when you're rolling bait, you're fishing for big fish, and the last thing you want is the leader to cut in the middle of a fight. So we'll take this, we're going out through the eye, it really doesn't matter. We're going to pull most of that leader out through the eye. I'm going to leave about, a couple inches behind the hook, just so I can control it here with my fingers. So I've got both pieces of line going through the eye of the hook at this point, and I'm just going to start wrapping. I'm going to do, I don't know, several wraps, 5, 7, 8, whatever you think. So I'm going to do, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wraps there. Now I got to go back through the eye and complete my wraps, and then firm down the knot. So, and if you have any questions about tying this knot, look up the video. I just did it on the channel about a week ago. It's my 3 favorite fishing knots, and this egg loop Schnell is one of them. So it's just difficult now because I'm wrapping with that second piece of line, but with this other leader here, I've got to thread the leader back out of it every wrap. Which is no big deal. Just grab it with your finger. It takes a little practice, as I said, but you'll get the hang of it. This is something good to do when you're watching television. Take your time. The kitchen table, you got good light. Like right now, I'm being affected by some shadows I got going on here and stuff. But anyway, there we go. I've done my wraps. I'm done with that part, and I'm just going to snug this knot down at this point, just like that. I'm going to pull it here down pretty good. I'm going to pull that back tag end, just like that. Now, there's how it looks as it stands right now. Now I'm going to trim those tag ends, but I'm not going to trim them super short, because that's how you adjust the tension in your knot. You don't want to cut them super short. So I'm going to leave 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch on the front and on the back. That way I can adjust that the tension of that knot. A harder time cutting it off than I had tying a knot. Okay, so now check it out. That hook is probably, what is that? Maybe 8 inches from the treble. Watch. Take this hook. I'm just going to give it some pressure on the leader, and see how it slides up and down there, just like that. Very nice. What that's going to allow me to do is rig an anchovy. Up here at the top end of the leader, I'm just going to tie a double overhand loop knot, and I'm going to attach this to a trolling swivel, because if I don't, it's going to make a big mess, because it's going to be rotating. So let me tie this off, and I don't know that we're going to put this on right this second, but I do have a spinning rod here. I'm going to grab my spinning rod, and I'm going to dunk this in the water. Actually, Wes has got a rod up. I'm going to grab that rod from Wes. Let me grab an anchovy here. I'll show you how I put the anchovy on. Okay, I'm back. I got my handy dandy bait cooler here. Here we go. I brought some tray bait anchovies. I got 3 anchovies in there. I've been keeping them on ice. They are thawed out. Now you need to check the regulations, but I'll tell you what, anywhere there's kokanee, small salmon, small trout, and big predatory fish, that is a dynamite bait. Most people don't troll whole anchovies in lakes, but they absolutely work, and for big fish, they can be just deadly. Here's what you want to do. I'm going to slide this snell up just a hair. You take my treble hook, and I want it firmly fixed in the bait. So I'm going to take the bait here, I'm going to hook it right down through the bait like this. Make sure you can see that. Just hooking it in the side about 1 inch up from the tail. Move a couple scales there, and I want it in there just like that. You see that? Now, I'm going to take that octopus hook, and I'm going to put it right up through the bony part of the head. I'm just depending on this octopus to hold the bait in place. I'm not really depending on it to hook fish. Sometimes you hook them on this, but mostly I just want a firm connection to hold the bait in place. So I'm going right up through this anchovy's head. Oh yeah, I got it just right too. It got the bony part. So there we go. That's there. Now to make this anchovy roll, I'm going to adjust the tension between the 2 hooks. I'm going to form a a little curve into the bait. I don't want a super big curve. That's enough right there. Let me show you this bait from this configuration there, from that angle. See the curve in that bait? Now we're going to put it in the water. I'll have Wes hold the camera and we'll get some footage of this bait in the water. Okay guys, here I am at the side of the boat. I got a good trolling swivel on there. There's the anchovy. We're going to dunk him in the water and I'll show you the action. So let's see. Probably there you go. That's what you want. See that nice straight rotation on that bait? That is a killer. It's a killer on kings. That's a killer on big trout. That's exactly what you want, man. A fish comes knocking on that, he's going to pick up that red treble hook and it's going to be game on. I don't troll it with blades, flashers, none of that. I want it completely natural, just like that.